Fried Green Tomatoes is a 1991 dramatic film directed by John Avnet based on the novel Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe by Fanny Flagg. Born Patricia Neal in Birmingham in 1944, Fanny Flagg is an American actress and writer of international fame, also known for being a television, film and theater screenwriter. Encouraged by her father, Flagg became interested in writing and performing at an early age, and she starred in several movies and TV series. She had a relationship with the writer Rita Mae Brown and with the actress Susan Flannery, and her declared homosexuality becomes a constant in her works. Moreover, after discovering that she suffered from dyslexia, she was discouraged from writing. Eventually, she was able to overcome the fear associated with the disorder, and since then, she has completed several internationally recognized novels. Her masterpiece definitely is Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe, first published in 1987 in England by Random House. Subsequently, the director John Avnet decided to put it on stage. The project repeatedly risked being abandoned due to the limited budget and because of the particular narrative construction of the book, which made its cinematographic transposition extremely complicated. Flagg personally edited the screenplay, and in 1991 John Avnet finally managed to present the film, which received an Academy Award for Best Non-Original Screenplay. The film stars Mary Stuart Masterson, Mary Louise Park, and the two Oscar-winning actresses Kathy Bates and Jessica Tandy. Today, the film version of Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe is even more famous than Fanny Flagg's Lucky Book. The story is about Evelyn Koch, an unhappy middle-aged housewife who lives a monotonous existence with her husband. Every week, they go visit her man's aunt. The old woman does not like the presence of Evelyn, who has to wait for her husband in the living room of the nursing home. Here she meets Nini, an elderly guest of the structure, with a playful and friendly character. Over several encounters with Evelyn, Nini tells her the story of the now abandoned town of Whistle Stop and the story of two young women named E.G. Threadgood and Ruth Jamison. E.G. is rebellious and joking, while Ruth is sweet and reserved. After the death of her elder brother Buddy, E.G. closes herself off to everyone. After several years, she meets Ruth. Gradually, a deep attachment develops between them, until Ruth has to marry Frank Bennett. One day, E.G. decides to go visit Ruth in their new home. Here she learned of Frank's brutal treatment of her. Thanks to E.G.'s help, Ruth leaves her abusive husband and starts her new life. The two decide to inaugurate the Whistle Stop Cafe, a small place which welcomes people of all kinds, famous for the cheap and delicious fried green tomatoes. But the calm is interrupted by the return of Frank Bennett, who wants to take revenge on Ruth and E.G. After his unpleasant visit, the man suddenly died. The inspector Curtis Mutt arrives at Whistle Stop and he starts investigating the case. Suspecting E.G. and Big George, the man does not have enough evidence to indict them, and the case remains unsolved. The two women continue their lives at Whistle Stop until Ruth's death. Evelyn is inspired by these stories and winds up turning her own life around. Fried Green Tomatoes is set in the United States of the 20th century, and this is fundamental to understand the history and the main themes that the author wants to highlight. The story denounces the various challenges that women have faced and still face, such as abuse and violence, and the role of the women imposed by society. To do so, Fanny Flagg chooses as protagonists four determined and dynamic women of two different generations, with their own stories. Iggy, for example, is a nonconformist rebellious character who opposes to the rule imposed by the American social environment of the 1920s, when women had to take care of the house, go to the church on Sundays, and marry a man chosen by the family. Ruth, who following the social scheme ends up being a victim of the violence of her husband, but eventually finds the courage to leave him. Ninny, who makes her experience a great source of wisdom. And finally, the sad and unhappy Evelyn, who eventually finds the strength to change her life. Fanny Flagg inserts several references to LGBT situations, characters, and relations in her novels. In Fried Green Tomatoes, the author focuses on the tender relationship that binds the two protagonists. However, these references to the affective relationship have been softened and ambiguously mentioned in the cinematographic transposition. The author declared to have made this decision in order not to damage the film from a commercial point of view, and this fact underlines how the concept of homosexuality was still a taboo. Another important issue is the strong racism that spread and scared the black citizens because of the atrocious acts carried out by members of the Ku Klux Klan. As a matter of fact, the author inserts numerous episodes of racist persecution. Moreover, even in the recent edition of the book of 2010, the author maintains the derogatory term Negro, used to refer to black people, in order to emphasize this important aspect. Today, Fried Green Tomatoes is considered a small masterpiece. The narrative structure of the story has certainly contributed. The continuous change of the point of view makes the reading active and engaging. The pleasant reading is also due to the almost humorous lightness with which Fanny Flagg recounts the personal earth-breaking stories of the characters. Fried Green Tomatoes continues to be a great classic of reading, which behind an apparently simple story hides the reality of the last century and denounces its negative aspects, leading to a reflection. In the same way, the film keeps the viewers on tenterhooks, making them smile and then feel moved. The actresses, who magnificently play their characters, help the spectators getting engaged and feel the same emotions. If I had to summarize Fried Green Tomatoes, I would describe it as a beautiful story about female solidarity and the strength to overcome the challenges of life, which manages to find a place in the heart of everyone who discovers it.